All right, so good day, class. So once again, I will be your online learning coordinator for this subject, Web Development 1. So for today, we will discuss the Module 3 or the week 3 of this subject. And we will be focusing on PHP and HTML forms. So in order for us, as we all know, as I've already mentioned with the previous weeks that we have had, is that we need PHP and HTML in order for us to develop our website. So to start, let us talk about the objectives for this module. So at the end of the module, you are expected to create PHP pages using the following, such as HTML forms, select tags, text area, option or radio buttons, checkbox tags. And you should also be able to understand the application of assigning values to variables and appending text in PHP scripts. So those are the objectives that we have for this module. So let us start, guys. We do have an output here or an example of an HTML form. So we do have the first form and the second form. So basically, these are two different web pages that have been developed through the use of HTML and PHP. So we do have here, of course, a text box, as we can see here, and a um, um, a submit button. Okay, so we do have another output. So as we can see here, the inputted text is John Haven, and then after clicking the submit button, there's another web page that showed and showing this information. Congratulations, John Haven. You've just written your first PHP program. So how come that we were able to get or show these two different web pages? Let us take a look at other program now. So we do have this HTML side of our program, and we also have the PHP program. Okay. So as you can see here, guys, that you do have, of course, you have to um, write what should be seen on your title. So that's HTML form. And as you can see, or forms, as you can see, that should be visible here, HTML forms. And then you should also have your header, HTML forms here, and everything that you write here on this part should be shown here, HTML forms. Okay. And then part of your header as well is a statement saying that PHP script shows how to use HTML forms. All right. And then after that, you are able to get or you called this method, and the name of that method is post. And then that is, of course, a portion wherein we are calling our HTML forms. Okay. And then the first part that we are able to see here is a label for our text box. And that should be written here. Okay. At this part of your program or of your HTML. And then you have also called this input box, which is a text type or a text input type. And then you named it first name. And then the size of that is 30. Okay, take note of this first name, as you'll also use that um, as part of your HTML or I mean your PHP program later on. And another input type, which is called submit. That's also you're able to see a submit button here because you've called that. All right. So submit input type. In order for you to show that on the output, you should write it this way. And then the label should be written here for the value of that input or submit input type. Now let's go to the HTML or I mean the PHP program. As you can see, Of course, still the header is shown. That's the header here, guys, HTML forms. And the title is now 303 HTML forms. That's also visible here. And then part of your program as well is, of course, this PHP program. The variable declaration is here. And this is the part wherein you are allowing your program to accept data from the user. All right. And then that data should be typed in to the text box. Take note, first name, then that's also the same here, first name. So you are indicating or you are stating that the data will be taken from the user and the user should type that in into the text input type, which you named first name. So that should be the same here. So it doesn't mean that this is the name that you've used for that input text that should also be the same that you should be using as your variable name, but you may also do that. Okay, you may also use the same variable name like what you have here as your input or text input type name. Okay, and then the echo, which is basically printing out a statement on the output like this one. Congratulations. So basically, you are commanding the program to show this to the screen or to the web page. So congratulations and whatever data that has have been typed in by the user. So like if the user has typed in this John Haven, then it will be shown as well because you've commanded the program to show the value of that variable that you have declared. Okay. And then part of it as well is you've just written your first PHP program. Okay, so that's how you call the input types, text input type and submit input type, and that's how you show a specific statement on the user's web page or on the user's end, and that's how you declare variable as well. Okay, later on we'll also discuss how to name variables as we go along. Okay, and this one, select tag, it is also one of the input types that we can use, all right, in PHP or in web development. So as you can see here, guys, we do have a select tag. So this is how the select tag looks like. So whenever you click it, you'll be able to be given some sort of options, like any options that you would like to give to the user that should be written, of course, on your program. Okay, so position, like if you're an administrator or whatnot, or whatever option you would like to give. So multiple options can be given. Okay, and then you do have this output. Take note that the John Johan is highlighted in blue, the same as the administrator. So how were we able to have that output? Let's take a look at the program. So this is how you call the select tag. So basically, it is one of the objects that we can call. So you start, of course, with the label here, position, like what you can see here. That's how we declare or we write the label of that select tag. You can change that, all right, to whatever purpose that select tag will serve. And then you call the select tag by means of writing this program or this code here. So select the name, then that's the uh, name of that object or select tag object position if you would like to name it that way. Take note again that you will be using that to your PHP program. So and then the size is 1. And then the options should be written here as part of your HTML. Administrator, these are the options that were given. Administrator, faculty, staff. So you can write as many options that you would like to write. Okay, so but this time we have just included 3 options. Okay, and then on our PHP program here, this has been added, like we have declared another variable which we name position, the same as what we have named our select tag. um, object. And then this is again a process of accepting data from the user. And then once the user has selected one of these options, then it will be saved, or it will be placed into this variable. Take note, guys, that a variable serves as the storage of data. So this time, this is the data that we will be storing, or these are the data that we will be storing to this variable. So you can choose one. Okay, and then echo, again, we print out several texts. And then to include, like, or if you would like to highlight a specific text in blue, then you can write your program this way, like text blue. So you can choose any options. I mean, any color that you would like, but most of the time it's highlighted in blue. Okay. So we have another here, which is a comment box or a text area. All right. So text area tag is something that we can include into our program to ask the user to write or to give us a comment. Okay. So this is again our text area tag or our comment area. So take note here that it's grayed out on our next web page. So how does that happen? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the program. So this is your PHP program in the HTML here. So in order for you to call that text area, of course, you do have the label here, comments. So that's the purpose of that, to write your comment or the user's comment on this part of the program or on of the web page. So to call the text area, all you have to do is to write it this way, or to call it this way. So text area, and then the name. You can choose any name that you would like, since it's for comment or comments, or it will serve as a comment section. Then you can name it comments. Okay, and then how many rows should be shown, like this one. So you can also declare that. So that will serve as the size of this text area. So that's how many rows it is, and then how that's also how many columns will show on the user's end. Okay, so that's how you call a text area or a comment box. So how did you disable that? Let's take a look at your text area. Take note, this has already been disabled, so you cannot change anything on the next web page. All right, so that is made possible because of your PHP program. So of course you have declared another variable which you named comments, and then whatever data or whatever text or whatever yes, a text, either a number or sets of letters or words, will be typed in by the user. It will be stored in your variable which you named comments. And then you do have echo here to print out some messages. All right, and to disable the text, all you have to do is to write the program this way. This is the part wherein you are already printing out the text, all right, the comment that's been typed in by the user, and disable it by means of using this code. Disabled equals disabled. So that's how you do it. And then the class equals this text disabled. This will disable the text in the or on the comments section. Okay, so that's how simple you call text area. So almost the same processes that we do, all right, in calling text area, text box, and submit button or submit input type. So now let's talk about radio button now. So if you would like to allow the user to choose just one option out of the options that you will be giving, this time we just gave two options, full-time or part-time employee types. So the user can either choose one, maximum of one, all right, either full-time or part-time. And then you have this second output here. So how is it made possible that we do have this radio button included? So we do have this part, all right. The radio button is being called this way. So it's almost the same as to how we called the text box. All right. So it's almost the same. It is also an input type. But this time, of course, to call that, you have to write radio. And then name it depends on what is the purpose of that radio button. This time it's for employment type or E-type. That's why we name it E-type. And then the option, of course, the first radio, you do have full time to be shown here. So whatever you write here will be shown this way on your output. And then part-time, so depends on how many radio buttons you would like to include, then that's also how many lines you should be writing, or that's also how many radio buttons you should be calling on this part. All right. And then you do have another here, another variable that you declared, E-type, and whatever what they call it, option that the user has called, then it will be stored in your variable which you named E-type. And then you do have this um, echo part here. All right. So that's how simple the process is in calling radio button as well. So almost similar. So we also have checkbox tag. So if radio button will allow the user to just choose a maximum of one option, now the user will be able to choose at least one or more than one option or options from the options that you will be giving. Like this one, the user has chosen the three options that we've given. So the user can choose at least one or more than one. Okay, like this one, we do have this output. And let's take a look at our program and check as to how this is made possible. So we have called this checkbox tag through this process. So it's almost the same as well in calling our text box or radio button. All you have to do is to call the checkbox tag through the use of this process. So input, type, and then the um, checkbox word to call the checkbox tag, and then whatever option you would like to provide should be written here on the value part. And then this is the name of your checkbox or of each checkbox that you have declared or you have called. And then these are the values. That's why you've seen. If you would like to change this, or if you would like to change this value, then all you have to do is to change this part as well. BA, MA, PhD. You have to change the value. And then, of course, you do have the if statement here to check. All right. Take note that for each if statement, you have to check the condition. If the condition has been tested true, like this one, then it will show this output. If it is tested false, then it will not show anything, like this one. So if what is this saying is that if the user has chosen BA, then it will show BA or the value of the within or in that variable, which is of course BA. If none, or if this BA has not been chosen, then it will not show anything. Same goes with your MA. All right. So basically, if MA has been chosen, then or has been clicked or has been ticked, then it will show this statement MA. So you can change that, of course, depending on the requirement of your program or your website. And then if not, then it will go to the alternative option, which is the else. Same goes with the third portion. All right. And then you do have this echo part here. So whatever you would like to write on the output or you would like to be shown on the output should be declared here as well. So like the value, all right, of the BA, MA, etc., etc. So that will depend, of course, on the condition if it will be tested true or false. Okay. So let's talk about the process of assigning values to variables. So we are already familiar to this process. So as you can see here, we do have, of course, John Haven, Tihuco, and then these are, of course, letters composed of letters. And then we do have here age, which is, of course, composed of two numbers. So how is that possible? All right, let's take a look at this. So we have called the input types, and then all we have to do is, of course, to identify as to what um, a value to be assigned. For example, this one, we do have um, the method here that we've called. All right. So that's the process of assigning values to each part, like this one, or to each input type, or to each object. Like this one, we have assigned. Um, let me take a look. Like this one, the value for our submit button is submit information, and then we also have here like this, the first name, last name, age. That's also the same. We do have the value for each, and that is just made possible because of this method that we have called. Okay, so that's very simple, that's very easy. Okay. So appending text, whenever you would like to append a specific text, all right, this is now the process, like John, Johan, Tihuko, and then five. So in order for us to append the text like this one regarding John, Johan, B. Tihuko, entered age of 5, our profile program concludes that your real age is 10, and were born in the year 2016. The current year is 2000 or 2006. The current year is 2016. So how is it made possible that we do have these two outputs, or we do have these two web pages? So we do have this example program here, your PHP program, and your HTML here. So we have called these input types, and then we do have declared, or we have declared variables again, first name, last name, age, and then we've accepted data from the user through the use of this declaration here. So dollar underscore dollar sign underscore post, and then the text type that we will be using, all right, or the input type rather that we will be using. This time it is a text type, and then so on. We also have middle initial that is already being declared as constant, which should not be, because it should be coming from the user. And this time we just declared it B, all right, as the middle initial. And then we have this concatenation process here, combining the variables, all right, or the values for each variable, first name, middle initial, last name. And that's how we append or add up data from these variables, and then save it into another variable, which we named full name. Okay. And then the factor, the multiplication here, I mean the factoring, the addition process to get the sum, and then to get the date from the computer, you have to write it this way, like this one. The birth year, the date should be or should be um, taken from the computer through this date, and then get the year. If you just like to get the year, minus the age plus, which of course will be is the result of the um, addition that um, we have processed here, okay, or we have calculated here. And then we do have this echo here. So that's how we get again the year. And then we have declared those variables. So we have commanded our program to print out those variables. So this is the process of appending text. All right. So first name, middle initial, last name, for them to be added up. Then all you have to do is to do this. Okay. To do this process. And then that's the end of our discussion for this module. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And I hope that I will still be able to see you with our next meeting. And enjoy programming. Keep safe.